Hello EDUSPLORER, thanks for joining us again and welcome back to another informative video on our YouTube channel. Today we are visiting the country of Tanzania. In this episode, we shall explore Tanzania from its economy and its people, the transformative nature of this interesting African nation, and also to present to you that the next time you plan to visit Tanzania, you will have better information as to the reason why this country has come a long way. So without any more delay, we should just go straight into it. Before we give you the details with regards to the economy of Tanzania and its transformative nature, allow me to give you the background with regards to Tanzania. Tanzania was formerly known as the Tanganyika. In 1964, Tanganyika united with the island of Zanzibar to form the United Republic of Tanzania, the largest of the East African countries and one of the most transformative nations. And also, Tanzania is located in east of Africa's Great Lakes, north of Mozambique and south of Kenya. It has a coastline of Indian Ocean in the east. The nation is bordered also by 6 other African countries. This includes countries like Burundi, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Malawi, and also Rwanda, including Uganda and Zambia. It also shares maritime borders with the Comoros and the Seychelles. The shorelines also includes 3 Great Lakes in the African continent, which includes Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika, and also Lake Nyasa, which some popularly also known as Lake Malawi. In terms of its population, Tanzania has a population of just over 58 million people, and the capital is Dodoma, the largest city, which is the chief port, major economic and transportation hub, and the de facto capital that should be taken into consideration is Dar es Salaam. Spoken languages are Swahili. English is also both official, Arabic widely spoken in Zanzibar. If you are new to this channel, we will encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different network. But many will ask that where is Djibouti in the world? Looking at Djibouti, Djibouti is officially the Republic of Djibouti. It's a small country on the northeastern coast of Africa to the Red Sea and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Djibouti is bordered by Eritrea, Ethiopia, and also Somalia, and it shares maritime borders with Yemen. Due to its geographical location and the Gulf of Aden, the barren country is of considerable geographic interest. Djibouti controls access and egress to a major waterway, the Red Sea and also the Suez Canal. It's one of the world's busiest shipping routes. Djibouti has controlled then by France, especially during the French Foreign Legion until 1977. As of 2002, the United States established America's largest military base in Africa, which is called the Camp Lemonnier. The country occupies an area of just over 23,000 kilometers square. Compare this particular country of Djibouti is slightly larger than Slovenia or slightly smaller than the state of New Jersey in the United States. Djibouti has a population of close to about 1 million people based on recent figures. The capital and the largest city is Djibouti City. Spoken languages are French and also Arabic, which is both official, Somali and also Alpha. You do have main religions, which is Islam, and also about 95% of the population are Muslims. With regards to Angola, for those of you who don't know, Angola is a country on the western coast of Southern Africa. Angola is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean in the west and also Namibia in the south. The Democratic Republic of the Congo, which is the former Zaire then, on the north, and you have Zambia in the east. The enclaved province of Cabinda is separated from Angola by a tongue of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and also it has borders with the Republic of the Congo. Angola occupies an area of just over 1,247,000 kilometers square. Compare Angola, it is most 14 times the size of Portugal, the former colonial power of this amazing African country. Or you could also say that Angola is less than twice the size of the United States state of Texas. Moving ahead, Angola has a population of just over 31 million people based on current statistics. The largest city and the national capital is Luanda. There are different spoken languages in this country, which include the official language is Portuguese, and also there are several Bantu languages like Kikongo, and you do have the Kibunda, Other language includes the Tichokwe and also the Ubundo and other tribal languages. The exclave province of Cabinda is separated from Angola by a tongue, as we've pointed out there. Looking at the background in this amazing African nation that has transformed over the years based on its previous history of war. The civil war has been the norm in Angola since independence from Portugal in 1975. As of 1994, the peace accord between the government and the National Union for the Total Independence of Angola that provided the integration of the former UNITA insurgents into the government and armed forces. A national unity government was installed in 1997 in April, but the serious fighting also resumed in that year, looking at 1998, rendering hundreds of thousands of people homeless at the time. Presumed numbers were about over 1.5 million lives that have been lost in that particular conflict, and also past quarter century. The death of Jonas Savimbi, for those of you who know, and a case ceasefire with UNITA was also a border wall for the country of Angola. The president then, Dos Santos, officially came to power in 1979 rather, pushed through a new constitution in 2010. Elections held in 2012 saw him installed again as the president. Angola assumed a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council that was since 2016 term. Hello EDUSPLORERs, thanks for joining us again and welcome back to another informative video on our YouTube channel. On today's episode, we are visiting the country of Senegal. By the end of this video, for those of you who don't know Senegal, we'll present Senegal to you from a different angle and also present its economy, talk about the transformative nature of this amazing African country, so the next time you plan to visit, you have enough information. So without any delay, we should just go straight into it. With regards to Senegal, for those of you who want to know more, it's a country on the coast of West Africa, bordering the North Atlantic Ocean in the west and also bordered by Mauritania and the Senegal River in the north. It is bordered by Mali in the east, by Guinea and also the Guinea-Bissau on the south. It also encloses the Gambia and narrow nations along the banks of the Gambian River. Senegal shares also maritime borders with the island country of Cape Verde in the west. Senegal lies within three climate zones, with a hot desert zone in the north and semi-arid zones in the center and also tropical savanna areas in the south. The country occupies an area of just over 196,000 kilometers square. This is about more than times the size, so to say, the country of Greece, and also slightly smaller than the US state of South Dakota. Moving also forward, the country has a population of just over 16 million people. The capital and largest city is Dakar. Spoken languages in these amazing African nations are French, which is official. You do have Wolof and also other West African languages. Looking at the background of Senegal. Senegal got its independence from France in 1960. Senegal joined with the Gambia to form the nominal Confederation of Senegambia in 1982. However, the envisaged integration of the two countries was never carried out, and the union was dissolved in 1989. Looking at the system and the political arrangement in this African nation, Senegal is a semi-presidential democratic republic. The country's political system remains dominated by the office of the presidency. The president is chief of state. He is elected by the absolute majority, voted through a two-round system. Head of government is the prime minister. He is appointed by the president. Senegal has a mixed legal system. Its judicial system is based on the French Civil Code and Senegalese Islamic law. But before we look into that, allow me give you a quick background with regards to the Democratic Republic of the Congo. In history, considering from around 1881, getting to up to the current period at the moment. If you consider this transformative African country, talking about the Democratic Republic of the Congo, known as Zaire previously, it's a vast country in central sub-Saharan Africa. Today it's also known as DR Congo. Some will just call it DRC. Congo Kinshasa, or just the simple Congo. The Democratic Republic of the Congo is bordered by 9 countries. You are talking about here countries like Angola, Burundi, the Central African Republic, the Republic of the Congo, Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania, Uganda, and Zambia. It is a 45-kilometer wide strip of coastal line in west provides the countries a narrow access to the Atlantic Ocean. 5 of the famous African Great Lakes in this particular area lined up the Democratic Republic of the Congo's eastern border. In this case, we are talking about Lake Albert, Lake Edward, Lake Kivu, Lake Tanganyika, and Lake Mweru. This transformative African nation has some very important characteristics in considering this particular transformative nation. In terms of size, the Democratic Republic of the Congo has over just over 2,344,000,000 kilometers squared, looking at its size, making it is the second largest country in Africa behind Algeria, and also it's about 3 times the size of a country of Turkey, or you can put into perspective, slightly less than looking at 1/4 of the United States entirely. The Democratic Republic of the Congo has a population of just over 90 million people. If you consider these based on recent figures, capital and largest city is Kingshasa. Spoken languages are French official. You do have several other languages like Lingala. In the north of the country, you have Kikongo. You also have Kituba, a widely used lingua franca in Central Africa. You have Swahili and also Shiluba. Hello EDUSPLORERs, thanks for joining us again and welcome back to another informative video on our YouTube channel. On today's episode, we are taking you deep inside the African country of Mozambique. Our focus in this particular episode shall be in the capital Maputo. By the end of this video, we will explore Maputo in details, bring to you its history, the amazing and unique nature of this African city. More importantly, we shall explore the details as different areas where Maputo stands out among other cities in Mozambique. But before we dive into that, I will allow me to give you a quick background with regards to the country of Mozambique. Mozambique is a southern African nation whose long Indian Ocean coastline is dotted with popular beaches like Tofu, as well as offshore marine parks in the Quambas Archipelago, a 250 stretch of coral islands, mangroves covered in Igbo Islands, has colonial era ruins surviving from a period of Portuguese rule. The Bazaruto Archipelago further south has reefs which protects rare marine life, which includes places like the dugongs and other very important areas in this particular country of Africa. In this episode also, we shall be looking as to that Mozambique, having been almost 5 centuries as a Portuguese colony, came to a close with independence in 1975. Large-scale immigration by whites, economic dependence on South Africa, a severe drought and a prolonged civil war hindered the country's development at the time. The ruling party formally abandoned the Marxism, so to point out, in 1989, and a new constitution the following year provided for multi-party election and a free market economy. According to a UN negotiated peace agreement, with rebel forces ended fighting in 1992. Hello EDUSPLORER, thanks again for joining us and welcome back to another informative video on our YouTube channel. On today's episode, we are visiting the country of Togo. In this episode, we shall look into Togo. For those of you who plan to visit Togo, by the end of this video, you will have a clear picture as to the reason why you should visit this amazing African country. Also, we shall look into its economy, its people, and the best places for you to visit while you are in Togo. So without any more delay, we should just go straight into it. With regards to Togo, for those of you who don't know, Togo is a narrow strip of land in Western Africa, between Ghana to the west and also Benin to the east. It is bordered by Burkina Faso. It has a short coastline with palm lines, beaches, and also extensive lagoons and marshes on the Gulf of Guinea in the south. The tropical country, just north of Ecuador, covers an area of just over 56,000 kilometers square. Let's compare this into, if you put that into perspective, it's about the size of a country like Croatia. Or you could also compare that, if you put into perspective, like the state of West Virginia in the United States. Togo has a population of just over 8 million people based on recent figures, and the capital and largest city is Lome. Spoken languages are French in this amazing African nation, and you do have Bear language and Kotoskoli and the Kabir, which are some of the languages that are spoken in this African nation. If you look at the background of Togo, Togoland, of which modern Togo was formerly a part, was colonized by Germans in 1894. The German occupation has been ended by joint Anglo, at the time, French force early in World War I. As of 1960, French Togoland became Togo, but only in 2007, after years of military rule and political unrest, that Togo held its first relatively free and fair legislative election, which put the country on the pathway to modernity. Today we shall be looking at the country Namibia. By the end of this video, we will be able to shine our light onto Namibia as never seen before. We will also review the country's characteristics and the reason why this particular country is so unique. Without any much delay, we shall just go straight into it. For those of you who don't know Namibia, officially the Republic of Namibia, also called internationally and until then, since 1968, as Southwest Africa. It was pronounced as Afrikaans in Namibia or the Southwest African. It's a country located on the southwestern coast of Africa. It is bordered by Angola to the north, Zambia to the northeast, Botswana to the east, South Africa to the southeast and south, and then the Atlantic Ocean to the west. It ranges from arid in the north to deserts on the coast and in the east. The landscape is spectacular, but the deserts, mountains, canyons, and savannas are perhaps better to see than to occupy. Moving forward in this spectacular African country, Namibia, of course, is amazing. The only permanent river are the Kunen and the Okavango, that's the Kubongo's thing, and the Mashi, and the Zanzibar on the northern border, and also the Orange on the southern part of the country. Only the northern frontier, and not all of it, is readily passable. The coastal Namibian desert, the treacherous reefs, and also the shores and the coast, this is just actually half. The near desert along the Orange River and the dry Kalahari regions to the east explains the actual conquest of the Namibian and the front geographical location in this particular located nation that spread its wings in different parts across that particular part of Africa. Roughly rectangular in shape, Namibia, moving forward, Namibia has a long, narrow and eastern extension. It is actually based on a German misconception that the access to the Zambezi, despite the Victoria Falls, meant access to the Indian Ocean. That also affects its shape at the time. After 106 years of German and South African rule, Namibia became independent on March 21st, 1990, under a democratic multi-party constitution. The capital of the country is called Windhoek. Hello EDUSPLORER, thanks for joining us again and welcome back to our channel. If you are joining us for the first time here at EDUSPLORER, we go beyond borders to bring you inspiring content and also some very educating information. Hopefully you found some time to have checked our previous videos. If you haven't done so, we will encourage you to do so. Today we are visiting the country Kenya. For those of you who don't know Kenya, by the end of this episode, you won't believe the information you will get with regards to this amazing African nation. So without any more delay, we shall just go straight into it. With regards to Kenya, most people think Kenya is just about safari, but again, it has some of the wonderful biodiversity the world could ever imagine. Of course, today we are looking at an overview to give you a clear picture, so next time you plan visiting, you won't have anything to doubt about. With regards to Kenya, it's a country in East Africa bordering the Indian Ocean in the southeast. Neighboring countries also would include countries like Ethiopia, Somalia, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda. Understanding the size of this amazing African nation, Kenya has an area of just over 580,000 kilometers square.
The country is somewhat larger than metropolitan France, or if you want to go further, to slightly more than twice the size of the state of Nevada. Kenya has a population of just over 52 million people. The country does speak different languages. Of course, the spoken languages are Swahili and also English. These are both official languages. And there are of course numerous indigenous languages, mainly Kikuyu and also Luya. The largest and most populous city and national capital of Kenya is Nairobi. Second largest city and also the country's chief port is called Mombasa.
Hello EDUSPLORER, thanks for joining us again, and if you're welcome back to our channel. If you are new here at EDUSPLORER, we go beyond borders to bring you inspiring content and also some very educating information. Today we are reviewing the country of Zimbabwe. For those of you who don't know Zimbabwe, by the end of this episode, we shall look into the characteristic of this amazing African country, why the former Rhodesia to Zimbabwe today has transformed. Also, we will look into its economy, the characteristics that made this country different from other regional countries within the African continent. So without any much delay, we should just go straight into it. With regards to Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe is a landlocked country in Southeast Africa. It is separated from Zambia by the Zambezi River. The Limpopo River in south forms part of the border with South Africa. It is bordered in east by Mozambique and also in the west by Botswana. The Namibia, Zambia and Botswana 3 point at the town of Kazungula. It lies about 100 meters from the Zimbabwe border, and such Namibia almost borders between. Also, with an area of just over 390,000 kilometers square, if you compare this, it's about half the size of a country like Turkey, or you could say that it's slightly larger than a different state in the United States. In this state, we are looking at the state of Montana. Zimbabwe was formerly known as Rhodesia. It declares independence from the United Kingdom in 1963, but was only recognized that was in April of 1980. Zimbabwe has a population of just over 14 million people, and most commonly spoken languages are English, Shona, and Dembele. Hello EDUSPLORER, thanks for joining us again and welcome back to another informative video on our YouTube channel. On today's episode, we are visiting the country of Cote d'Ivoire. Some could refer to it as Ivory Coast. By the end of this video, for those of you who plan to visit, we should discuss with you some amazing places that you could visit while you plan a trip to this amazing African nation. Also, we shall talk you through the biography of this nation and give you some perspective, so the next time you plan to visit, you will know before you enter the country. So without any much delay, we should just go straight into it. With regards to the Cote d'Ivoire, also known as Ivory Coast, is a tropical country in southern West Africa, on the Gulf of Guinea, in the North Atlantic Ocean, bordered by in the north by Mali and also Burkina Faso, in the west by Liberia and Guinea, and also in the east by Ghana. The country, Ivory Coast, covers an area of just over 322,000 kilometers square. Looking into perspective, it's slightly smaller than the country of Poland, or is larger than the US state of New Mexico, looking at its stretches. Moving ahead, Cote d'Ivoire has a population of just over 26 million people. Capital city is Yamoussoukro, and the largest city and also de facto capital is Abidjan. Spoken languages are French officially, and also languages of 5 principal language groups, which include the Dioula, the Diala, you can point that out, or the Baoulé, or the Boulé, to put in French, Dan and Ayin, and also the Senari. And about 40% of the populations are Muslims, just over 34% are Christians, and 25% practice traditional, animist, and also religious activities. Also, to looking at the background of this amazing African country, looking at Cote d'Ivoire, it has a close ties to France since independence in 1960. The development of cocoa production for export and foreign investment made Cote d'Ivoire one of the most prosperous of the West African states. However, this did not protect its country from a political turmoil. As of December 1999, a military coup, the first ever in Cote d'Ivoire history, overthrew the government. Junta leader then, Robert Gay, blatantly reached elections held in 2000 and declared himself its winner. Popular protest forced him to step aside and brought Laurent Gbagbo into power. Ivorian dissidents and disaffected members of the military launched a third coup attempted in 2002. Rebels then forces claimed northern half of the country, and in January 2003 they've granted ministerial positions in the unity government under auspices of the Lima Masusis Peace Accord. Also, power has changed hands for Gbagbo, from Gbagbo then to Alassane Ouattara at the moment.